Okay, there is Mr. Joshua Oigara, who is the Chief Executive Officer for KCB Group. He's actually confirmed that the total rate cap repeal actually applies to new loans, at least in his sentiments. He did say that don't expect existing loans to be repriced tomorrow. However, the company also issued out a press statement earlier in the day saying, yes, they expect to see credit now flowing to the SME sector, expect it to be 2 or 3 percentage points more expensive than where we currently are. We are joined in studio by Mr. Abraham Kamau, who is the CEO of Miradi Capital. Abraham, before we went on break, we were talking about accessibility and affordability of this credit. Now we are saying the bottleneck of accessibility, in theory, has more or less been confronted. Assume that is successful. What does that mean for the economy today?
If there's a drastic change in access, then the game becomes pure price.
Okay.
And by price, I mean everything loaded in. And you can see that there's been a lot of effort in having banks disclose not just the interest rate, but whatever is hidden charges.
Okay.
So now the game will move there.
Now SMEs as well.
Yes.
Okay, interestingly, let me give a highlight. We forgot to mention this. His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta earlier today did officially launch the Stawi Loans, which is a consortium of Kenyan banks willing to extend credit to the SME sector. Now, this was launched in collaboration with the Kenya Bankers Association as well as the Central Bank of Kenya. However, NCBA was spearheading it from the banking front. This was a solution that had been fronted earlier in the year by Central Bank of Kenya to facilitate access to credit to the SMEs using the mobile banking platform. SMEs were unable to access sufficient credit, with the loan apps actually only giving 2,500 per user. The Stawi app was supposed to extend up to 250,000 shillings to SMEs and allow them to access this financing for their businesses. So far, we have a figure of about 10 billion shillings that has been put aside for SMEs at a price of about 9%, single-digit numbers to be extended to the SMEs. It's certainly a positive for the SMEs and a way of the executive saying over and above the rate cap, they are putting their skin into the game and they want to actively start engaging the SMEs. We continue with the conversation because you are saying that SMEs need to be able to access the credit. If they go to the banks today, they'll access it at maybe 18%. But Stawi is going to extend the same credit at 9%. I mean, there's really a mismatch in pricing.
You see, I think the government is trying to put in, it's trying to show the lead. But you see, for them to control price or rather lead in price, then they need to put more stock. Because you can imagine whatever stock they're putting in still cannot make impact. But the good thing, they're showing direction, and they're actually also demonstrating, which is the most important thing, that it is actually feasible. It can be done. It can be done. That is the most important statement.
Okay.
And see, for that, it will make anybody doing higher look bad.
Okay.
So maybe in that direction, they might be able to pull people, because people will feel immoral that somebody is doing it at 9 and still making money, and me, I'm doing it at 18. What excuse do I have?
Okay, but we're still a capitalist nation.
We
have been told that
but see,
man-eat-man society.
It's a man-eat-man society, but the government actually is showing that this can be done.
Yes.
And they are not subsidies.
So that's a positive move. At
very
least
positive.
In terms of showing face and saying we are here, we are putting our skin in the game.
Yes.
It can be done. We can prove that it can be done.
Yes.
So then we don't expect you to be pricing credit at 20%.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So in other words, the economy was becoming a bit unbearable. There was no liquidity.
Yes.
Having liquidity and access to credit is certainly a huge positive. From an economist perspective, then do you expect an improvement in GDP growth, that's the gross domestic product, in GDP per capita? Do you expect the consumer, the normal Kenyan mwananchi, to actually feel better from these instances of access to liquidity in the next 2 to 3 years?
Yes. You see, when liquidity improves, what will happen is there will also be a marginal increase in inflation. And you know, for any producer, when there's a marginal increase in inflation, that is the incentive to produce. So what will happen? There'll be a spark because there's more money in the pocket. So the economy should grow, and I believe it will grow, both from the side of demand and also now the suppliers, the SMEs also will have money to produce. So I think the net effect of all this is a GDP growth. But the question is, at what price?
Abraham, will you take a loan tomorrow?
Personally, I'll wait and see.
You'll wait and see?
I'll wait and see, first of all, how this new regime looks like. Because there are still a lot of unknowns. Everybody is holding their breath. People, because of the history of banks, we will not trust them. So I think we need to give them time. And let's see if they'll keep to their word or their spots will show again.
Will you invest in the banking stocks then?
For me, I would not now.
Not now?
Not now, because for now, you see, I may be entering and I should be exiting, or vice versa.
Actually,
and for now, I really can't put my finger on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final question. You do run a business. You are Chief Executive Officer.
Yes.
Based on the decisions that we have had coming through the last 2 weeks, will you expand the capacity in your team? Will you enhance your working capital? Do you see opportunities based on these decisions?
This decision, for sure, if nothing else, has disrupted the economy.
Okay.
So, and with disruption comes growth.
All right.
In whatever form it comes.
In whatever form.
So for me, as an investor or as a business person, I will want to have capacity because something is going to happen.
Something is going to happen.
And something good is going to happen.
So you're excited?
Yes, I'm excited in as much as I do not know, but I'm excited that something is good. Because see, also if you're on the floor, I mean, you can't go any lower.
Yes.
Yeah, the only way is up.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. There you have it, a couple of things happening. First and foremost, banks are already trading up. There's absolutely no supply for demand on the stock exchange. Cooperative, the best performer with regards to volume, 7.2 million shares traded. KCB, best performer on price. It's up almost 7% over the day. We continue to see a lot of demand based on the rate cap decision. Second thing that you need to pay attention to, we have just had a clip of Mr. Joshua Oigara talking about the fact that the total rate cap repeal will only affect new loans and existing loans will continue to be priced in the current regime. He's also very positive with regards to extending credit to the SMEs. They may have to pay 2 to 3 percentage points higher than expected. That is about 18% give or take. The final thing, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta is also very bullish on the SME sector. While earlier today he did launch the Stawi app, where SMEs can be able to access credit of maybe up to 250,000 shillings on the mobile applications. NCBA is spearheading this. About 10 billion shillings has been set aside for this particular sector. What do we say? If you're watching markets today, you're certainly wanting to hear our views on the stocks. We expect a rally of the banking stocks. There's still a lot of moving parts with regards to the Kenyan banks. I would say if it keeps going up, we expect to see a lot of profit taking. In other words, we expect to see people beginning to sell if it goes up any more from this point in time, as we now begin to figure out, can the economy actually afford, or rather does it have the capacity to absorb this extra demand for credit? Can the economy grow thereafter? But that said, Mr. Abraham has told us he's ready. Disruption brings or begets growth opportunities. So he's ready to enhance his working capital. Perhaps if you're looking for a job, he will be the person to speak to. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. See you once again tomorrow. Good afternoon.